Hey folks, welcome into Pro Football Ireland. Michael McQuaid, Mark Hogan, Jason Hayes. Well, we're in the off-season, the schedule's out. There's no better time to look forward to the witching hour, which is only a few weeks / months away. We're all counting down the minutes, and I'm delighted to welcome back Scott Hanson. Scott, it's always good to chat to you, my friend. How are you doing? You good?
Oh, great to be with you guys again. How's everything in Ireland right now?
It's going well. We've obviously got the schedule release out now, Scott, so we're getting closer to your favorite time of the year. Let's talk about that, because I've seen your tweets over the last 24 hours. Is this turning into your favorite part of the off season, seeing all these social media clips and just getting the game, Scott, and starting to sort of prep your own season as well?
Yeah, I'm a big believer in visualization. You know, like when I am going into the studio that day, I visualize like how things might go. When I have any type of assignment or something, I'm meeting up with someone, I picture like how it could go. And when the schedule gets released, it is one of the most exciting times for me, because I visualize a 5 or 6 month patch of my life. And yeah, I always say this: all politics is local, is a saying we've got here in the United States. All schedule releases are local. I look exactly as to how does the schedule impact NFL RedZone? How many games in the early window? How many games in the late window? Where do the majority of the bye weeks fall? Where do we get, when are we going to get Aaron Rodgers? When do we get the Cowboys? When do we get, whoever else? So it's a fun time. It gets me going for sure.
I'm glad you said that. I'm looking forward to asking you a question later on with that in mind. But before that, who did it better, do you think? The Tennessee Titans or the LA Chargers have been all the talk today?
Give me the Titans. I thought the Titans, now their concept, the Tennessee Titans social media team, their concept was not nearly as ambitious as the Chargers or some of the others. That Chicago Bears basically put together like a mini comedy, episode. But the Titans, their concept was base level, but the material that they ended up getting literally made me laugh out loud. So we always say this is the social media department's, like, their Olympics or their Super Bowl. I thought the Titans just absolutely nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Well, how about you guys? Yesterday, did you do a show and did you vote yesterday amongst yourselves?
The funniest thing about the Titans is they actually had 2 out. They had the one that was in Nashville, and then they actually had one set in a bar that they had Sheamus, the WWE wrestler. They had Keith Urban in there. They had Marcus Brown, and like that got completely overshadowed. In terms of us, we were really excited about the international. We had Henry Hodson on talking about it, because I suppose we described it as kind of our Thanksgiving. We give thanks to the NFL for bringing the games over here. And yeah, we were super pumped about the games. Have you paid attention to that? Are you jealous at all of the games that we got? I mean, Germany's after getting the Miami Dolphins playing the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, no, I love it. Now, one thing though that they seem to, I believe this is the first year. Let me make sure. No, maybe last year, where all of the games are kicking off at the same time. All of the international games, meaning for me in Los Angeles, those games begin at 6:30 in the morning. So I know you guys overseas stay up late at night to watch RedZone, and even later at night to watch Sunday Night Football if you choose to stay up that late. We get up early in the morning. So I actually love it that there are quality games and star players and key teams that are playing in the London games and the Germany games, because I get to start watching them at 6:30 in the morning when I'm on my way into the RedZone studios. I usually arrive at the RedZone studios about 6:40 in the morning. I just go in a little bit earlier, and I'm watching football the entire time, prepping to get ready for RedZone, which in Los Angeles times kicks off at 10 a.m. So I actually love it that there are quality games.
The fact that Scott Hanson enjoys an even longer day of NFL football is the least surprising thing I've ever heard.
I'm a glutton.
Looking at the schedule, Scott, another thing which has changed is to do with the primetime games this season. So for the first time, they're going to allow some teams play multiple Thursday night football games. And they're also going to allow flexing with that Monday night football slot. One of the side effects of this is a few teams such as Arizona, Houston, Atlanta, and Indianapolis not getting any primetime games at all. So you'll be seeing a lot of them on RedZone every week. What are your thoughts on this change to the primetime schedule? How do you think it's going to affect the viewer experience and maybe more importantly, the player experience?
Well, okay, there's a few different questions within there. I'll take them like one at a time here. First, for the possibility, and I say possibility, of Monday Night Football flexing, they have not said that they are going to do that. I think that's a dicier proposition than Sunday Night Football flexing and whatnot. And it's simply because there are people who will travel to a road game and they have built their weekend and whatever to go to a Sunday game in Pittsburgh or wherever. And if that game gets flexed into Monday Night Football, you're throwing a wrench into potentially thousands of people's lives who are diehard NFL fans. So I think the league needs to be very sensitive to that. But if it's a no-brainer, if let's say in week 14, the Monday night game ends up being two teams that are almost mathematically eliminated at that point, and I'm just using an example here. I'm not even using the specific example of who's playing there, so don't quote me on that. But then there is a game that was scheduled for the early window or even the late window that was going to be played with multiple games at the same time, and it's a no-brainer to move it. I get it. You want key games in front of as many eyeballs as possible, but it's at the expense of people who have arranged their live schedules to be there live in the stadium to play when the game was originally scheduled. So I think that's something they want to tread lightly with, and they might not even do it. They've said they might not even do it. It's available to them should they want to. So that'll be interesting to see. In terms of the 4 teams that have no national television games, no standalone solo island windows, if you will, I actually have no problem with that. The NFL on the field is a meritocracy. You earn being a starter on an NFL roster. You earn being a Pro Bowl player on an NFL roster. You earn your way to the playoffs, earn your way to the Super Bowl. I think one of the things of playing on national television is it's a beneficial thing, obviously, for the players, the coaches, the teams, the franchises themselves, but you've got to earn it. And the teams that you mentioned there are not necessarily the highest profile teams. Look, they need one season to bounce back and prove that they've got what it takes to be wanted to be seen by 25 million people across the country or across the world. And look no further than the Detroit Lions, who at this time last year, if we were talking, or this time a year and a half ago, let's say, we would be laughing if we thought the NFL is going to put them on the season kickoff game. And here they are a year later after winning 8 of their last 10 games. And they're going to be featured on Monday Night Football once or twice, and Sunday Night Football, I believe, as well. And of course, on Thanksgiving, where they have their traditional game. It only takes one good season to bounce right back. So I actually don't feel terribly sorry for the franchises that don't have a national televised game. I would just say go out there and win, and you'll be featured all over the place next year.
The other thing you earn, Scott, is the chance to sit down and watch RedZone when you're in the primetime slot. It's something that the players themselves obviously pay attention to, and fans love it when you kind of start off and say, we got this tweet from the likes of a Josh Allen. How exciting is that for you? And is there someone in particular that you're like, oh, wow, he's paying attention?
Yeah. So Josh Allen, I think I had heard the rumors that he was a fan and he was watching 2 seasons ago. But last season, because the Bills were obviously a Super Bowl favorite, and so they were playing on national TV windows left and right, and of course their bye week as well, he did multiple interviews where he said, oh, I spent my entire Sunday watching RedZone. And I thought that was pretty cool. The first big-time player that I heard was watching RedZone is Tom Brady. Tom Brady is a football junkie. Obviously, he's the greatest quarterback of all time, probably the greatest football player of all time, but he is a football fan. He is a junkie. He sits and watches Red Zone all the time. When he wasn't playing on a Sunday early or late window, and he actually came up and told me that himself, and I thought, wow, that's pretty freaking cool. And then there's a bunch of players that'll be tweeting about it because, yeah, if you're not, I know Russell Wilson will watch when he's not playing. Max Crosby is a fan, the pass rusher for the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, there's dozens and dozens of other players and former players that are watching. And why not? If you have a favorite team, watch your one team. But if your favorite team isn't playing at that time, what better way to consume the NFL than NFL RedZone?
Absolutely, or both as well. It's funny. I'll just jump in very quickly, Jason. It's funny. I had the chance to go to the new NFL media studios there last month, and I feel like we need more than 20 minutes to talk about the fact that the wall arts, the fancy bathrooms or restrooms that are incredible. Like I could talk about that for 1 hour. But Scott, what people don't realize is it's an incredible facility, but you literally do it in a room with a big green screen behind you, but in like the equivalent of a big garage door. And when we were getting the tour, it was like going through the Vatican for me. It was like, this is where Red Zone is filmed. And it was like the Mecca. I was like, it's some setup, man. It's incredible down there.
Well, thank you. Sorry we didn't have any works of art by Michelangelo or Raphael to augment your Vatican tour experience. But yeah, it is cool. And it's unfortunately, it's easy to take for granted that that's my workplace. The one interesting thing about it is, and obviously you saw when you were there, that it is adjacent to SoFi Stadium, which is just as magnificent a looking a building in real life as it looks on TV when the Rams or the Chargers are playing in a high profile game and they take the helicopter shot or the blimp shot of the building. Where I pull in at 6:30 in the morning and park my car at our employee garage, I walk across like a deck, like a platform to go down into where the studio is for RedZone. And it has a beautiful view of the, the northwest side of SoFi Stadium. And that's when it always hits me. It's like, and there's almost always a game that'll be going on there, whether it's a Chargers or Rams home game later on that day. I think, man, there's so much going on in that building and there's so much going on in this building. But the nuts and bolts of it, I get tunnel vision because I'm so focused on my job where I don't get the experience of walking into it like it's Disneyland, like you guys got to, and getting a tour. But it's a great facility. It gets the job done. The green screen I'm used to. I actually wish it was a physical set behind me, but I understand for flexibility's sake and budgetary concerns, they want the ability to change that room into whatever they need to. And as long as the touchdowns are real and the host's enthusiasm is real, I have no problem with a fake background.
Scott, Mark touched on a pretty juicy slate of international games that's coming up this season. On this side of the pond, you'll often hear commercial breaks mentioned as one of the main barriers for people getting into the NFL and American sports in general. They just aren't used to the amount of stoppages. Of course, RedZone and your show has broken those barriers. So I'd just like to ask, how do you feel RedZone has brought new fans to the game? How much credit are you taking for this growth of the game overseas? And are you on some kind of commission structure for these international games? Because if you're not, I think you should be.
Well, a couple of things about that. Thank you for the compliment. A couple of things about that. One, when they play the international games and when it does have, as I referred to, a 6:30 a.m. kickoff here in the West Coast of the United States. So those games are done. I am told that certain stadiums will put RedZone on because that game is ending within 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to us starting our show. And that, I don't know if it's, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium or Wembley or the stadium in Germany, in Munich, Allianz Arena, they put RedZone on so that fans could just expand their NFL football experience for that day, seeing a live game and then seeing Scotty come on with every touchdown from every game and us rocking and rolling. That thrills me because it's like I picture the same type of a thing if it was inverse happening in the United States, something that is uniquely from, let's say, the UK or Europe at large, coming here that had pockets of popularity where Americans would come together to enjoy something that was imported from overseas, and to be able to experience it and see it live, and then be able to experience our favorite form of it. I've got friends who are Premier League soccer fans, Americans born and raised in America, that have adopted a Premier League team, and they live and die by it. They adjust their sleep schedules by it. They orchestrate their social life by it, much like NFL fans overseas do. So it thrills me that I'm the host that gets to do that. And in regards to the popularity, I'm telling you guys, based on a few different factors, social media and Cameo. I do a thing called Cameo you may or may not be familiar with, which is, personal video shout outs for fans that want to buy a celebrity to give their buddy a happy birthday greeting and whatnot. Based on those two things, that I see so many international fans either hiring me for a cameo or tagging me or interacting with me on social media, I literally think that my popularity, to the extent that it exists, is almost equal in foreign countries as it is in the United States. Just because people, for the point that you made, people love the streamlined nature of RedZone, and for people that are mostly in soccer-loving countries that are used to, 2 hours straight outside of halftime of action, that NFL RedZone's broadcast approximates that as close as they can get to it, as close as we can get to it, where the stoppages are trimmed off, and the commercials obviously trimmed off. So it's very, very gratifying. And I just hope it just continues, because as you guys know, I love our sport, and I love people, and I want as many people to know the greatness about this great sport as possible.
Well, it's always great, Scott, especially internationally, seeing RedZone on after the games. Even in Munich last year, it was awesome because it was incredible after the game. Quick fire final round from each of us. So 3 last quick questions here. One of the biggest sports in Ireland is Gaelic football. The NFL is growing in Ireland fantastically, but Gaelic football, hurling, is one of the big sports. Double element here. Have you ever seen Gaelic football or hurling? We will send you a video after. And secondly, the last day of the National League season, there's like 15 games at once. And the joke for all the NFL fans around here is we should get Scott Hanson to do it for like a GAA, Gaelic Football RedZone. Are you up for doing it next year for a laugh? Or?
I would need to familiarize myself, because I'm a professional, and you guys know, I've been on your show before. You guys know how I prepare for an NFL RedZone episode. I would feel like I would need to be that prepared, and it would take me years to get up to speed on that. I would probably sound like an infant if I went on and I tried to broadcast Gaelic football. To answer your question, well, hurling, this is going to expose my ignorance here. I thought hurling was that sport where y'all do maybe that's a Scotland thing, where you throw the telephone poles over the shoulder and stuff like that, like in the rocks and the boulders. That shows you how dumb I am in it.
Oh, that's so funny. We have a video pulled up on the side here, but we'll ignore it for now because I want to ask you a different question. It's week 18, and we just had the schedule release now, and you have a triple box up on screen to end the season on RedZone. You can have 3 of these go on the screen, but you have to eliminate one. So I want you might have to keep your ears peeled for a second. Aaron Rodgers has a Hail Mary attempt to decide whether the Jets or the Patriots go to the playoffs. Tua has an empty backfield against the Bills for the number 1 seed on 4th and 1. 49ers kicker, the rookie this year, can send the 49ers as the 1 seed with a record-tying field goal attempt record, or Bijan Robinson is about to score a touchdown that will break LaDainian Tomlinson's 2006 record. Ooh. Which one of those 4 has to be eliminated?
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if it seems like there was a jump cut in this in the show that we're watching, there's a reason for it. We call it a jump cut because I'm now in a different position and whatnot. I'm actually now on a different device. Welcome to sunny Los Angeles, California, where my phone that I had on my car dashboard started overheating during the Zoom here. And so it like literally, I've never had it do that, but we were on long enough that it was overheating and it crapped out. So now I'm on my tablet and with a little different camera angle here. So if that's the explanation, if you guys want to pick up where we left off, I'd be happy to.
I was asking you, which would you rather? Aaron Rodgers, the Hail Mary, Tua to go to the 1 seed with the Dolphins, record-tying field goal kick to send the 49ers to the 1 seed, or Bijan Robinson to get the touchdown record. You can have 3 of those on screen, but one of them doesn't make it. Which do you go for?
Oh, man, give me the choices again. I can have 3 on the screen? Okay. Give me the choices.
Aaron Rodgers' Hail Mary attempt to decide if the Jets or the Patriots go to the playoffs. Tua is battling the Bills. He has no running backs. He's going to throw to win the division against the Bills. You have a rookie kicker, Jake Moody, is kicking a record field goal attempt to send the 49ers to the 1 seed. Or Bijan Robinson, with no playoff implications, is about to get a 32nd touchdown of the year, the all-time record.
Oh!
I thought long and hard, lads, about these for the last.
See the pain in your face there, Scott.
Give me the Tua circumstances. Give me the Tua. Like Tua, you said he had to throw to beat the Bills for the division.
For the division, yeah. So one of them.
Is that a Hail Mary or not?
No, that is called that. Like maybe it's like 4th and goal, which is 8 yards out. They're too far to run it. So with that wide receiver core on the field against that Bills team that everyone rates to go in as the number 2, no easy options here.
Well, first of all, of course, I would go quad box at that point.
There we go.
Do you know, I actually came up with the question. But if
you're limiting me, I like parlor games like this. If you're limiting me, see, I would get rid of Bijan, except that's historic. It's historic. And Rodgers is, we just saw the schedule release. Rodgers is moving the needle, as we say in the United States, when it comes to fan engagement and whatnot. So I can't get rid of Rodgers. And a rookie kicker to break the record. First of all, Jake Moody does not, I don't think he has a big enough leg. I don't think he can go for 67 yards or whatnot. I'd probably get rid of the kicker. I'd show you Tua, because a 4th and goal play in a division rivalry. So I would go Rodgers, Tua, Bijan for the record.
There you go. And the kick is good.
I'm gnashing my teeth thinking that I would have to skip one of those, because you know me, I love to show everything.
I was going to say Jason's got the last question, but Jason has jumped off because his internet is fantastic. So, Scott, the last question is from Mark, and we will round up. Is it Kildare related, Mark? I think apparently.
Oh, sorry, we don't have time for some of the listener emails, but there was one listener.
I'll stay on a few extra minutes here, guys, if you want.
Oh, brilliant! Thanks a million.
Yeah.
Do you want to take some of them then, Michael?
I will. We'll do 2 listener emails. And thank you for that, Scott. I know people are very interested in this as well. Owen and Cork, what is the all-time favorite moment you've ever called in RedZone down through the years?
I think maybe I don't know if I told you guys the story, but Robert Griffin III's rookie year, which was also Russell Wilson's rookie year, was it October, I want to say, of 2012. Robert Griffin III broke away for a game-winning touchdown run. Washington, the Redskins at the time, had the ball in the lead, and they just needed to get a first down to run out the clock. But Griffin, in his amazing athleticism, broke away for about a 75-yard touchdown run at FedEx Field in front of the Washington fans in a triple box. That happened first, and about 10 seconds later in the triple box, a rookie quarterback by the name of Russell Wilson threw a bomb. It was almost a Hail Mary. Deep downfield, I think it was Sidney Rice caught the touchdown to beat Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. That game was in Seattle, so that home crowd went nuts. And then about 10 seconds after that, in the triple box, Jay Feely, who was then the kicker for the Arizona Cardinals, had a game-winning kick as time expired, and it hit the upright and bounced back onto the field to send the game into overtime. And that was in front of the Arizona fans as well. And all three of those things happened within 20 seconds of each other in a triple box on Red Zone. I think that was still my favorite moment.
You get excited for it and for the season just listening to your explanation of it's amazing, right? So we got another one. So we were talking about Gaelic football. There's a game tomorrow. It's actually the under-20s. So it's a very communal aspect, this whole GAA. You have to play for your local area. So someone was asking, because Kildare, it's actually the same county as I'm from, the under-20s are playing in the All-Ireland tomorrow. Could you give them an up the lilies and wish them well in the All-Ireland tomorrow?
Oh, okay. So give me the name of the town again that it's in.
So they're playing, Kildare is playing Sligo, and they're the under-20s, and the nickname is the Lily Whites. So it's Kildare or the Lily Whites, you can call them, in the All-Ireland.
Okay. Hey, Kildare, it's your guy Scott Hanson from NFL RedZone. Just heard that there is a massive under-20 game here for you guys. Let me just say, up the lilies. And I'll see you in September for every touchdown from every game, American football style. Have a great one.
That's incredible.
That's amazing.
Scott.
Jeez, that's amazing.
Did I nail it? Was I close?
You did, yeah. Normally, people from your part of the world don't get the pronunciation right, but that's the pro's pro right there.
You were very, very close with the hurling explanation as well, so fair play. Scott, I will just end saying this for yourself so you're aware of it as well for people listening. Every Sunday, apart from some Sundays in December and the international games, we are across Ireland in different bars, different venues, watching at least one game. Plus this man here, Scott Hanson on RedZone. So we'll definitely tweet you in a few pictures, Scott. Thank you for coming on and taking the time today. Again, I know it's a period to relax and prepare for you now. So to take the time out of your day, we appreciate it. But I know a lot of people, not just in Ireland, but the UK and Europe appreciate it. And all the best, man, next season. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Always good to be with you guys. Thanks for having me on. And definitely hit me on Twitter, tag NFL RedZone, tag me, use the hashtag for NFL RedZone, because maybe we'll sneak it on. I think we did that in the past one time. Maybe we'll sneak it on an episode just to let the worldwide audience know that the Irish are tuned in.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.